Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Wednesday, and we are going to be telling time to the half hour. Yesterday, you told time to the hour, but today we're going to be telling time to the half hour. Before we do that, though, let's review what we learned yesterday. What time is it on the clocks below? Remember, the hour hand is the shorter hand, and it always comes first. So on this clock, the hour hand is pointing to the 3, and the hour always goes first on the digital clock. The minute hand tells the minutes. And remember, we count by 5. So we start at 1 and we count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then back to double 0. Remember, when the minute hand is always pointing to the top, we know it's o'clock. So this is 3 o'clock. When the minute hand is pointing to the top, we know it's o'clock. All right, so your turn. I want you to write in your journal, what time does this analog clock show? And what time does this analog clock show? You can pause the video if you'd like to give you some time to work. All right, so let's do these together. On this analog clock, the hour hand is pointing to the 7. So 7 is the hour, and it's pointing to the top, so I know it's o'clock. This analog clock shows that it is 7 o'clock. All right, let's do this one. This hour hand is pointing to the 10, so I know 10 is the hour. And the minute hand is pointing to the top, so I know it's o'clock. This analog clock shows it is 10 o'clock. So remember, when the big hand is at the top, we know it's 3 o'clock. That is telling time to the hour. So this analog clock shows that it is 3 o'clock. But when the big hand goes around and it's pointing down, it's 3 o'clock. It's 3:30. So when the big hand goes around and it is pointing down, it's 3 o'clock. It is 3:30. We get 3:30 because the hour hand is pointing at the 3, so we know the hour is 3. And we get the minute 30 by counting by 5s. Remember, we always start at 1 and count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it is 3:30. And this little riddle can help you remember that. When the big hand goes around and it is pointing down, it's 3 o'clock. So it is blank 30. Now this is an I do, so I am going to do this one and you are going to watch. The hour hand is pointing to the 1. Remember, the hour hand is the short one. It's pointing to the 1, so I know the hour is 1. It is pointing down, so I know the minute is 30. But just to make sure, I'm going to count anyway. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When the big hand goes around and it's pointing down, it's 1 o'clock. It's 1:30. All right, let's do this one together. The hour hand is pointing to the, very good, the 10. And the big hand is pointing down, so it's 10 o'clock. Now I want you to pause the video and write in the minutes. Very good. It is blank 30. It is 10:30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When the big hand goes around and it's pointing down, it's 10 o'clock. It is 10:30. Remember, when the minute hand is pointing down at the 6, it is always 30 for the minutes. All right, now I want you to do this one all by yourself. When I say pause, I want you to pause the video and write in digitally the time that this analog clock shows. Ready? Pause. All right, if your digital clock looks like mine, you are correct. The hour hand is in between the 7 and the 8. However, it's not quite to 8 yet, so it's still 7. So I know my hour is 7. And when the big hand is pointing down, it is always 30. It is halfway around the clock. So it is 7 o'clock. It's 7:30. All right, let's do another one. When I say pause, I want you to pause the video and write in digitally what time the analog clock shows. Ready? Pause. All right, if your digital clock looks like mine, you are correct. The hour hand is pointing to the 11, so I know the hour is 11. And the minute hand is pointing down, so I know the minute is 30. When the minute hand is pointing down, it's always 30. The minute hand is halfway around the clock, so it is 11 o'clock. It's 11:30. All right. So for your independent work, you have a seesaw activity, and you are going to write the correct time for each analog clock. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times that you are going to write for each clock. So you're going to look at this clock, figure out what time it shows, and type it or write it in the blank. And you're going to do that for each clock. Before you do that, you can also watch Telling Time to the Half Hour YouTube video. So before you complete this, go ahead and watch this YouTube video. It will also help you with telling time to the half hour. All right, have a good day, boys and girls.